welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, also known as Made in the Moment. I'm going to be going through all of my yarn and just kind of telling you a little bit about it, where I got it, what it's made of, what I've made with it, or what I plan to make with it. I basically just pulled everything off of my yarn shelves and put them onto a couch just so that I could kind of see what I am working with and how much yarn I actually have. I kind of thought this would be a fun idea because it's sort of cataloging all of the yarn that I have and just sort of keeping track of where everything came from. A lot of the yarn that I have now is secondhand. It's from eBay, thrift stores, or secondhand stores. So I think that's interesting too because all of the yarn that I have kind of has like a story. And I actually made a whole video on my secondhand yarn tips if you're just starting out looking for secondhand yarns. So if you want to check that out, that will be in a card right now and linked below. Basically, I'm going to be reorganizing all of my yarn and then figuring out what yarn I want to donate and what yarn I want to keep and just put back on my shelf in a way that makes more sense. I may be doing a little story sale of some of the yarn that I'm donating, so if you're interested, then go ahead and follow my Instagram so that you don't miss any announcements or updates on that. If I do that, I'll be selling everything at a very low price, pretty much just enough to cover shipping and then a couple dollars here and there to make it worth my time. Anything I don't end up selling on my stories, I'm going to donate to Make and Mend, which is a secondhand craft supply store in Somerville, Massachusetts. So if you're in the Boston area, you should definitely check them out as well and consider donating any of your yarn to them. I hope this video can just be kind of a fun thing to put on while you're crocheting or knitting and can maybe encourage you to go through and organize your stash as well. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post much more regularly on both of those. But that's all I have to say, so without further ado, let's get into all of my yarn. So here is all of my yarn sitting on my couch. There is some on the floor as well, but this is all of it except for a couple skeins from my temperature blanket. Here is a little bit of a closer look. Like I said, a lot of it was gifted, especially recently. And then here's my bucket of scraps and some of my yarn that's on cones and a bag of swatches. And this is what my shelf looks like at the moment. I cleared it off. I forgot to take a clip before I cleared it off, which probably would have been more interesting. So jumping right in, this is some red boucle yarn. I got this from Make and Mend's last basement sale, which was a month ago. And I hope you enjoy my thumb brace. This red was also from the Make and Mend basement sale. It's just a nice kind of wool yarn. I had to pick it up and now it's in my stash, but I don't have a lot of like really true reds. The other red I have is this acrylic yarn. I made my Halloween costume out of this. I'll insert a clip. And then in addition to my kind of dark red collection, I have these sort of softer reds. This one was a cotton from Michael's that I got a really long time ago. This one is wool from Quince & Co. And then this is, I think, some kind of acrylic that I got from a friend at grad school. Moving on to my oranges / yellows. As you can see, I don't really have many oranges. This is from a Wild Offering. This is Peaches mohair and it's gorgeous. Then I have this really nice, super fluffy mohair that I got from eBay. And I have been working through this for a while. I'll show some things that I've made with this. And then this is some yellow / orange wool that I got on eBay. This is some random acrylic I got in a Facebook Marketplace bag. This was some yarn gifted to me from Hobby. The Kind Feather in Rainbow Sock Wool were, and then the Diablo mohair I bought. But I used these Hobby yellows to make the fruity button up, and I just got way too much because I really didn't want to run out. So I kind of got a lot, and this is what's left over. I've already given some of it away. I really thought I had more green yarn, but this is it. This is really it. So this is a wool that I got at the Goodwill near my apartment. This is Impeccable Loops and Thread acrylic yarn that I got at Michael's. And then this is also a Facebook Marketplace find. Really nice boucle yarn. I'll add some clips of what that looks like worked up because it's really cool. Next is my blues. I have a lot of blue. I have collected a lot of blues and I'll go through and break it down more individually to show you what they all are. So this first one is from Stitch and Story. It was gifted to me, which was super nice of them. It is a bio cotton and soybean fiber blend, which is something I've never heard of before, but it's super soft and it doesn't have like the texture that some cottons do. It's really soft, it's really nice. I like the kind of bumpy texture on it, and I'm really excited to make something with it. Then some more Diablo mohair from Hobby. I love this. I got this in a bunch of colors. It's super soft, really nice. Great. That's all I have to say about that. So I got this yarn as a gift from a friend, and I tried to look up where it came from, but I don't have any of the tags, and I cannot figure out where it came from. But it's this really nice teal yarn. It's super soft. It's some kind of interesting blend that's sort of like wool and something else, but either way, I will also add a picture of something I made with this. I made this super cool sloth bralette using Kelsey's Peekaboo top pattern. Then this is my infamous Baja Blast yarn. I got this from unraveling a sweater, and I've used it for one project so far, but I have quite a bit left, so I'd like to use it for something else as well. And then here is some more yarn from Stitch and Story. This is just a merino wool. It's called the Lil Merino, which is really cute, but it is gorgeous. It's really nice. I have this in 2 colors, and I'm so excited to make something with it. I just have not gotten around to it. I really would like to make the Happy Hour top by Jamie Creates. I think that would look really nice in this yarn. And then here are some just odds and ends. This is a Malabrigo, the worsted weight, I think. It's really nice, super shiny, very soft. This is from a Facebook Marketplace thing. This one also just from like a big bag of scraps that I got in the fall last year. And then these are the Loops and Threads Lush Alpaca acrylic blend. And this is what I have so far. So all of the reds through like blues are up. And you might be thinking, that's not that many. And you would be right. The majority of my yarn stash at the moment is pinks and purples. So you will be seeing those soon. The way I set these up, they're not the most aesthetically pleasing thing that I've ever seen, but they are set up so that I can kind of see at least one skein of each kind of yarn that I have. So that way, when I'm looking for something to start a project with, I can figure out what I have just by looking at the front, and then everything behind it is just repeats of that. So these skeins kind of defy categorization. They're this bright fuchsia and orange, and I am already knitting some shorts with these. I'm super excited about them. These were gifted to me from Moa from Hans Design. Then here is some more Stitch and Story yarn. They sent me just a crazy amount of yarn, so I have not been able to go through it. I already have made a project with this, and it looks like I haven't made a dent in this, but this is actually an acrylic yarn that looks like wool. It's super cool. It's called the Jolie yarn, and I really like this colorway specifically because it's this white with these little patches of blue and purple, and as you know, I love purple. So I just love the way that they look. I would love to make a sweater with this, but it's not really sweater weather at the moment. Then here is my assortment of neutral-ish colors, whites, blacks, and grays. Most of these are pretty boring, but this one is really cool. It's a bamboo and rayon blend that I got from Northampton Wools in Northampton, Massachusetts. Really nice. They have kind of like scrap bins, and you can get things at discounted prices. And then I have a lot of just assorted acrylic. This is the Schitt's Creek acrylic yarn. I've used this for a lot of my dinosaur top patterns. This one is too, but for some reason it's kind of more scratchy than the other one, so I frogged it from the project I was working on. And this white yarn is Hobby Cotton King. It's really thin yarn, so I'm thinking maybe I will donate this because I just don't really have a use for it. I made Luna Wears B-Square pants with this white yarn. I just don't really like working with yarn that thin. And then the gray is all the Schitt's Creek acrylic yarn, except for I think this, which was from Facebook Marketplace. Now we move on to the pinks, which there are a lot. First up is, of course, some more Diablo mohair. This is in this incredibly bright pink. I am really excited to make something else with the rest of this. And then here is some more of that Hobby Cotton King that I was telling you about. I used this for Luna Wears a Trippy tee. Again, it's just so thin. I've been holding on to it because I want to be the kind of person that's going to use yarn this thin, but I really just don't think I will. This was from Facebook Marketplace. This was from Paintbox Yarn. I got it for a commission. And then this, I think, was a Facebook Marketplace find or a thrifted find of some sort. I don't remember exactly. Here are some other assorted pinks. This one was thrifted. My mom found this actually, and I made a matching set out of this. Just have a tiny bit left. This is some more of the Malabrigo worsted. Then this is really cool. It's like a cotton elastic blend, and I really want to make a swimsuit out of it, but I just haven't yet. And this is the other color of the Stitch and Story merino that I was telling you about. I really like it. I actually have the Hobby Twister Solid in a really similar color, but yeah, it's much, much thinner. I used that for my fruity button up as well. So now I just have a ton of this really nice baby pink. And then these next two yarns are from We Are Knitters. They were gifted to me a while ago. This is the wool. This is their alpaca. It is supposed to be pink. That's why I put it in with all these pinks, but it kind of just looks more brown. It's really soft. It's nice, but I don't really support their products anymore. This is my scrap bucket. I would like to do kind of a series on TikTok where I go through all of this and try and make a dent in it, because I have some really cool stuff in here that I don't have enough to do anything really with just that, but there's a lot of potential in here. These are the browns and kind of cream-ish things. This was unraveled from a sweater, and I knit this up with the Baja Blast yarn. Then this alpaca yarn is really nice. I got this from eBay, and I made some scrappy pants with this. This was kind of like the base for them. It's really nice. It's pretty thin, but I think it would knit up really nicely, so I'd love to knit something with it. Then these are just kind of an assortment of yarns. This one is either from Facebook Marketplace or eBay. I can't remember. Same with this one. And then this one is from Makin' Men's Basement Sale. All of this stuff is from Makin' Men's Basement Sale as well. And some of these are, I have to unravel this project still. But this one's really cool. It has super cool texture, nice color. This one's my favorite though. I don't really understand what this is like meant for, but it's super cool. Very textured thing. I think I could make a cool mesh top. And we have come to the purples. Once again, here is some more Stitch and Story yarn. This is their wool. I really like this color. They totally nailed it when they picked this one out for me. This is lovely. Can't wait to make something with this. This yarn I actually got from my friend Alana, and it's this really interesting, it's yarn but kind of like thread at the same time. Again, lots of potential. Not sure exactly what I'll do with this. And then of course we have some more Diablo mohair in this really nice lilac color. I love it. Beautiful. This next yarn is also from Makin' Men's Basement Sale. I unraveled this from an unfinished project that they had there, and it's really cool. I really like the color, and the texture on the yarn is super cool. And then surprise, more yarn from Stitch and Story. This is their cotton braid yarn. Again, love the color. It's really soft, like really, really nice. And it's a cotton and nylon blend, so it has a little bit of stretch too. It's nice. I've already used some of this, but again, it looks like I haven't even touched the pile. But I made Anna's Oopsie Daisy bag pattern with this. And these are some more kind of random yarns. This was also from Alana. Super cool, super crazy. I don't know what I'm going to make with this. This was also from Alana. It's a nice boucle yarn. This is some more of that lush alpaca yarn. And then here's some random little bits and pieces. Here's a nice boucle yarn. I'll show you what I made with this. Another boucle. Show you what I made with this. Both little bralettes. This really cool merino wool that I thrifted. Some cool like multicolored wool. I don't know. And then this, which I also thrifted actually in the same trip as the other one. And then here are a couple skeins that just kind of didn't end up in any of my other categories for some reason. But this is the Lion Brand Homespun. And then this is some mohair that I got on Facebook Marketplace. I will show you what my work in progress box looked like. All of this stuff was in there. And as you can see, only like half of this is actual projects. And some of it is just random things. So I'm glad I cleaned that out as well. This is the basket that it was all in. So it wasn't really very clean. It was pretty messy, but now it's better. While I was cleaning through everything, I found this project that I started last summer. And this was going to be a bag, but kind of stopped at like 9 squares. But basically this is why I don't make granny square projects, because I get really into them one day and I make like 5 or 6 of them, and then I just never want to touch them ever again. So there's this one. I really like it, but if anyone wants to finish it, let me know and I'll send it to you. This is what everything looks like. I like how all of the colors look kind of laid out like this. It's really much easier to see what I have now. I did get rid of a lot of yarn too, so that's kind of why it looks nicer. And then this is the other little craft section of my room. In the top left is my work in progress basket, and then some of my projects that are kind of bleeding out over that in the middle. Then you can see my scrap bucket, that's where it usually sits. And then my temperature blanket, which I am very, very behind on. Probably a month behind at this point, which I guess could be worse, but also is pretty bad. This is all of the yarn that I am going to give away. I'm going to donate all of this to Make and Mend when I have a chance to get out to Somerville. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. This was a really fun video to make. Even just the process of taking everything out of the shelf and deciding if I wanted to keep it or not was really helpful. I feel like I have so many more ideas now, and even if I didn't get rid of anything, I think it would have been helpful to just physically move around the yarns on the shelf so I can see yarns that I haven't been looking at really. And I do like the way it's organized by color now. Originally, I think this shelf is from IKEA, but I got it off of Facebook Marketplace last summer, and I've been really happy with it. But yeah, like I said, this video was really fun to make, so if you want to see more behind the scenes in my studio, aka my bedroom, then let me know, because I'd love to give you a little view into it. If you like this video, you can give it a like or subscribe to my channel. But that's all I have for you, and have a great rest of your day.